Hey everybody, and welcome back for another episode of the VOD Squad, episode 20 to be exact. And oh my
That was me forgetting to mute my phone before we started.
Well, it reminded the rest of us to mute ours, right?
Yeah.
Time to mute. Time to mute. Hurry up.
all of you out there in chat realm, mute your phones. Hey, I'm Clyde. Today I'm joined by Matthew Ross.
Mute for 2 hours.
Michael Aston.
Howdy, y'all.
And Jimmy Trammell.
And my phone is muted. Hello,
All right.
everybody.
Rock on. My phone's always muted.
What? Are you one of those people that only go with the vibration?
Because
Yeah.
then it's actually pleasurable when you get a call.
I'm never calling. Never. Got a girlfriend I can call so she can call you?
There you go.
That's why he never picks up on the first ring.
Or
Yeah.
even the fifth.
I'm actually probably one of the hardest people to get a hold of. My phone is on silent 90% of the time because I forget to unmute it. It's just always the one time I forget to mute it is like when I'm doing a conference call or a podcast or I'm meeting with the CEO of the company or something like that.
All valid reasons.
I guess I'm lucky. Mine is on all the time, and you can call me whenever. I'll always listen for it. Although it turns itself into priority only in the middle of the night, which is kind of nice. So, how you guys doing?
We're here. We
Yeah.
made it.
You made it?
It's episode 23.
Ooh, the Michael Jordan of episodes.
Getting to the quarter centennial almost.
Wow.
Except not
We're gonna have to throw a party.
centennial.
Woohoo!
Yeah, we should.
23.
Once we hit 25.
Oh, hey, when we hit 25, we can start.
As long as we have a credit card.
we can start renting guests. I think that's how that works.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
Speaking of Mike-
I think we would also be old enough to serve in Congress.
Ooh, yeah. We're only 10 episodes away from becoming the president of the internet.
Oh.
You know,
Next-
the president, the current president of the internet, he hasn't given up. Ooh. No, I believe it's supposed to be Leo Laporte. At least he claims it to be.
No. They had back during the New Year's Eve streamathon, they had that contender tournament to elect the president of. Oh, sorry, he's the president of Diamond Club. Not the internet. President of Diamond Club.
Sorry.
Is there a difference, really?
No.
Diamond Club is a little smaller.
Well, see, Diamond Club is more like the Illuminati. They're the people behind the scenes that nobody believes in, that actually ruin things or cause things to happen, like the podcast awards or best-selling books on Amazon. Yeah. What do you got, Jimmy? Were you holding up your hand saying?
No. No, I'm just agreeing with what you were saying.
Well, to go along with that 23, have like a Michael Jordan's worth.
Oh my God, a Michael Jordan's amount of news. That's a lot because
It
you know
is.
it's like what an average of like 60 points a game or something like that. It's a lot. And I'm not going to do that. No, but we do have a couple stories this week. Actually, we have a lot of little stories this week. And we're going to start off with sports. We have two stories about different services coming out with new services, and we start with Sling TV. It's officially and is adding some cable sports networks, and they are going ahead and start with $25 a month with their normal blue subscription. You automatically get these services, and they're only in certain areas. So they've got CSN Bay Area, CSN California, CSN Chicago, CSN Mid Atlantic, and that looks like it's it for now. But that's not bad because, you know, if you are actually in one of these markets, this is a lot of these different cord cutting solutions. You're looking for these channels and you wish you had them. So
now,
it's kind of nice to have them.
Now, maybe this is just my ignorance of sports ball. And I was racking my brain when I read this before. I was like, CSN? It's like, what channel is that? Like, what? So Cable Sports Network? So they're just saying using that as a.
I believe so. And up here there's a similar thing, but it's not called CSN.
It reads like you could just replace it with ESPN, right?
Right.
It reads like they're talking about a specific. It reads like
it's a regional sports network, where you will be able to get a lot of your various regional sports that are, you know, not broadcast anywhere. Well, they throw them all onto this channel for everybody to watch. It's just really kind of cool.
Yeah, this is kind of cool. I feel like there's a lot of sports fans out there that this is one of the things that they feel like they're going to miss if they cut the cord, leave their cable packages. A lot of times it's really hard to get some of these specific sporting events in outside areas. Now, the question I would have is, how are they identifying that you're in that area? Is it a billing-based thing and you can watch it from anywhere? Or is it going to be a geolocation IP-based thing where you can't watch it even if you are from Sacramento, if you're visiting LA or Las Vegas or something like that?
See, and I wonder about that because there are plenty of times where, you know, I live in Minneapolis and my IP says that I'm in St. Louis. Because of, you know, I think that's where Comcast houses all their IPs, right? And so
if you have a habit of utilizing like a VPN or something like that, then it's going to be the IP of your VPN, which is likely not in the area that you live.
Unless that's your intention.
Well, right. But again, if you're trying to watch this, you would potentially have to shut your VPN off if that was the scenario. I don't know. I'm just curious about that. It's not mentioned here.
Nope.
So
it's either going to be geofencing via IP or it's going to be geofencing by your billing address. So one or the other, and probably the easier one is that billing address because that's where the bill goes.
That is definitely the easier thing for them to do. However, I know that a lot of these kinds of like regional type networks are specifically concerned about the region because sometimes these CSNs get pay royalties and rights to have exclusive regional locks on the sporting events. So for example, they may be, you know, in the Bay Area, they may have Giants games that only they get to broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of the Bay Area, then ESPN might show it, right?
Yep.
So those kinds of contracts would become really important in knowing exactly where the person actually is. So that person that lives in the Bay Area, when they're in the Bay Area, they can watch it on CSN or the local CSN. When they're outside of the Bay Area, they might be able to watch it on ESPN, or they may not be able to get it at all.
Correct.
So the geolocation thing is a distinct possibility.
That's true. Right. So that's
yeah. I mean, I think this bringing the sports into Sling TV, I think definitely makes the service more appealing. I would say that's usually the missing piece to most cord cutters when they're looking for streaming services. I don't know. To me, what I'd like to see happen, from some of these services like Sling, is to give me sports live, but give me everything else on demand, right? If they were to do that, I think that would be the perfect service rather than trying to live stream everything, right? Only live stream the things that people really care about watching live. right? And everything else just give it on demand.
Actual
That-
real-time
that-
world events, right?
Right.
You know,
I mean,
presidential debates, campaign speeches,
the Oscars,
news,
yeah, all those kind of things. I mean, that would be my advice to them, right? That if you really want to have a service that's really appealing, adding the sports like what Sling TV is doing, I think is going down the right path. But for cord killers, I mean, there's a few things that we like watching live. Everything else, we want to watch it on demand.
Agreed.
Well, okay, so just on the same kind of story, we have PlayStation Vue, which added the MLB Network. Today it looks like they're picking up the MLB Network, which is not like what is the name of that Major League program where you can actually get every single game. It's not the At Bat. Yes, it's not that. This is the MLB Network that you would normally get as one of your channels on most of the cable networks nowadays. It looks like the PlayStation Vue will be getting it. We'll start getting it today, and it comes in with the core package. And so this basically submits it. You're never going to get Tom Merritt to move away from to PlayStation Vue. He loves his PlayStation Vue, so that's good for him.
Yeah, you know, hey, they need people to actually like it, for them to keep doing it, and they're still doing it. So, rock on.
So now you have, these local networks coming into Sling, and you have PlayStation Vue picking up MLB. This is we're getting and we also have the previous networks that were very sports centric. This is becoming a real serious deal. We're starting to see all these different sports being picked up by the different people. I think we're going to start seeing more of them maybe cross picked up by some of the different services, and we definitely will be getting a more competition in this area. I can tell you. Who's going to pick up NFL?
Or is NFL big enough to just go out on their own?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, who's going to pick up cricket? I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
Good.
Next.
Alrighty.
All right. Wow, we are so well into the sports today. Let's move to platforms. We have a couple of our various set-top boxes getting updates this week, and one of them we start with is Apple. Apple made a little update, which seems like they should have been there a while ago. They made a change to iTunes 12.6, which means that you can now rent once and watch on any of your devices, which means you can start the movie on whatever device you rented it on, stop it, decide, hey, I'm going to move over to my iPad and start it on that, or move it to my Apple TV, or watch it on my Mac, or whatever you want to do. Move it between your various devices with your account and continue watching your show. I didn't know they weren't doing this. This is insane. Yeah. So, welcome to 2008, Apple.
Yeah. Me being the resident Apple fanboy, right? I have actually, in the past, I have made this mistake. I have rented a movie like on my iPad and then try to watch it on my Apple TV. Only to discover it didn't work. No, well, you can still get around it. What you have to do, you have to re-rent before now, right? You have to re-rent it and then send an email to iTunes to say, hey, I rented it by accident on my iPad. Please refund my money. And they do. They'll get back to you.
I mean, that is unacceptable. I'm sorry. But it's just ridiculous.
Long overdue. And two, I'll add to the story. Notice in that article, right? Only iTunes on a Mac has been updated for this feature. So the operating system on the iPad, all the iOS devices still haven't been updated yet. So there's that as well. So they're coming, right?
Right.
Yeah. Since they updated iTunes, then the others should not be too far behind.
Yeah.
I mean, this kind of thing is why I've been so incredibly happy with Amazon Video, because this has always been the way that it works. I mean, I buy a digital video on Amazon and I can watch it everywhere. And with the Disney Movies Anywhere integration, I buy a Disney movie and I can watch it anywhere through Amazon on any of my devices and stuff like that. It's pretty crazy that this hasn't been on the Apple iTunes system.
Right.
for years.
Amazon isn't alone. I mean, a lot of different services have had this feature forever.
Oh,
So-
I mean that's been a thing you could do on TiVo forever. Even the
Mhm.
cable companies were doing
Right.
this on their cable boxes.
Yeah.
If you can
Yeah.
do it on a cable box, why did it take so long to do it on a
Well,
yeah,
to be fair, right? I mean, Apple's always had the AirPlay, right, to where you could AirPlay it
Yeah.
up to your Apple television, right? That kind of thing, right? But and it always would work well, right? But still, still doesn't negate the fact that if you rent it on your phone and want to watch it on your Apple TV, you should be able to do that without having to do the AirPlay workaround.
and you
Right.
heard
You
it
should-
here. Jimmy admitted Apple's been wrong. Up to this point, wrong.
You should want to
Right.
pay for it 3 different times so you can have it on all 3 devices. You're doing it wrong.
Well, that's the ironic thing. That's the ironic thing. If you were to buy a movie, then you could actually share it between devices,
Okay.
Yep.
right?
It's
But
the
if you
rent.
rent it, it's the renting part was the
Yeah.
thing, right? So, yeah.
Well, okay. Well, our next story we have here is that we have an update to the Sling TV, the Air TV stream player. When it was announced at CES this year, they showed it off with a bunch of features that when it actually got released, many of those features were not up and running.
Mhm.
It looks like this update finally releases a lot of those updates, and it now has major update to bring the better over-the-air integration, and also updates other little things like they're running a little faster and a smoother guide and performance. So those people who jumped on this cart early, hopefully you guys are enjoying your new over-the-air experience on your Air TV from Sling TV.
I was excited to read this because just a couple days ago I went, oh yeah, I really want to try that thing. I should probably buy one soon. And now I know I
Should
can
work.
I can go ahead and pull the trigger.
Are you going to do it with the over-the-air adapter?
May as well. It's an extra like $20 or something like that. Because that in theory is the same one that works with my Android TV.
All right.
Remember? If you remember
Yeah.
back from the because they made the announcement that they were making one for the Android TV, and it looked surprisingly exactly similar, just a different color.
Yep.
So
If it does work, let me know. I want to know that.
Yeah.
So
Yes. This is good. Now you're finally getting the thing that you were told you were getting when you bought it and ordered it initially. So I thought it looked pretty cool when I saw it at CES and the demo and the things that they said it was going to do. Of course, when you get it home and realize that it doesn't do half of those things, that's problematic. But they got it there. They just should have waited to release it until they had it there. But hopefully this won't be a big stopper for them.
I'm happy that they got it out. I was interested when this box came out, and I'm still a little interested, but I just wish it did some type of DVR functionality of the OVR stuff. I don't know. And also, I don't know what I can get here. I need to get an antenna because everybody I've talked to about getting over-the-air signal here says it sucks unless you have something that goes really long range. So. All right, last update we have for our little platform updates of the week. We have an update that the Fire TV is getting a little user update. Looks like that they updated it last December, but now they've added a new section to the interface that shows a lot of little recommended tiles for you. Mostly, this is things like recommending you to watch shows that you've watched before, or ones that you to finish seasons you've quit by way through. Or maybe it'll show you content that's similar to stuff that you have seen before. So it's a nice little update for the Amazon Fire TV. And it looks like it will be coming out to first and second generation Fire TV devices. So good for you,
I was
Amazon.
say, yay, another update that's not going to come to my Fire TV stick.
This one. The question is when.
Yeah.
I have a new Fire TV, so I'm excited about this. Mine will get this update. And I mean, Amazon already does this with their own content, right? Like it does a pretty decent job of recommending similar content to what you watch that's in the Amazon ecosystem, and to show you things that you've used recently, like the apps you've used recently and the shows that you've partially watched and stuff. Those all seem to show up pretty well right now. What's really cool about this is now I'm going to get a little bit of insight into some of what's happening in the apps themselves as well. Specifically, they show like TED TV in this article. If I've watched a few TED Talks, then it can show me the one that I've almost finished and haven't, not quite finished, and then the ones that are similar to the ones that I've watched. So I think that's really cool. That's a great feature, and it's Amazon. It's a good step for Amazon because they're stepping out of keeping you forced and trained right in their ecosystem, and letting you kind of have better insight into the other apps and stuff. So I love it. Hopefully it's great with Netflix as well.
I wonder how much outside Amazon they actually recommend, but that's my, that's me.
I mean, and that's exactly what this is talking about. Like I said, they're already doing it for the Amazon content. So this whole UI release is saying that they're adding at least one bar, one ribbon kind of thing.
I guarantee they are adding the suggestions for the people that have partnered with them, like Showtime and Starz, where you can purchase the content through Amazon.
Yeah, or like HBO, right?
Yeah,
right.
And HBO. So you won't be seeing like Netflix, I don't think, because Netflix.
I think that would be awesome.
The
though,
app is there,
probably not.
but they don't get any benefit from the app being there, other than as people coming there because it's a way to play Netflix. But I would not be surprised to see, like on mine, see a lot more recommendations for Motor Trend, which than for Netflix.
I just had a sinister thought there. Do you think that maybe they're just trying to put in a space there to feed you advertisement from Amazon?
You mean more space?
Well,
Because they already have the space along the top.
Yeah.
So, because having used, I use the Amazon app all the time, and that's what the app is right now. It's a whole wall of advertisements mostly. You've got one strip. You've got the big ad up top, and then you've got a strip that's going to be Prime content. But then most of the other ribbon things are all different kind of Amazon content. It's got a mix of the stuff that's free, stuff you already own, and stuff you would have to pay for or rent, to buy or rent. So effectively right now, I would say 50% of the screen is already some sort of Amazon advertisement or kind of like product links. I think this is them trying to make the ecosystem more sticky, right? Like they want you to feel like this is the only place you ever need to go. Because I don't see this bringing in more, except for maybe convincing you to use their subscriptions. Again, if they're mostly linking with their content providers like CISO and Showtime, HBO, and stuff like that, then that just incentivizes you to keep all your subscriptions in one place.
Which is what they want.
So, they want that, of course, because they're going to get some sort of a kickback on each one of those.
Finder's fee.
But again, they already do that with HBO. So I don't know. Like I said, I get an HBO ribbon right now of all of the HBO movies, and stuff like that. So I don't know I don't know how this really improves if it's not adding in stuff that isn't directly partnered.
Yes.
Obviously, the app would have to be built to do it, though. So they will be bigger, higher tech companies.
I guarantee, and I'll go out on a limb and say I guarantee that some of those recommendations will be for partners that you don't already subscribe to. That's going to say, hey, you love this stuff. Well, you should watch Harmon Quest. And
Yeah,
then,
there you go.
then you click on it and you go, oh, it's on CISO. Because they're really good at that. Hey, new season of this, and you click on it, it says, oh, you don't get that. But if you push this button, you can have it for whatever.
Buy it
price.
now.
Yeah.
So
One click buy.
So the advertisements are just other content. It's never like, oh, if you click here now, we'll give you 10% off on your wish list.
We don't know.
That's true. I don't know,
I
but it doesn't
wouldn't
look
be
like it.
surprised to see that either. Yeah, but so. Well.
Yeah.
Speaking of Netflix, though.
Yeah, we have some Netflix news. Well, first off, we have a piece of Netflix news that says that Netflix is working on customizing versions of their own shows for mobile devices. The idea is that if you ever watched one of those shows on the big screen and, oh, it's a beautiful experience, everything looks great, there's nothing, all the details and all, and then you try to watch the same show on a mobile device, you may find that you're missing things because either it's too dark or things are too small to see, or that, things like the closed captioning is just too small for you to read while watching the show. So they're beginning the idea of changing the format, either what they're showing or making some adjustments to the lighting or some other things to the show in order to make it a little bit easier to consume on a mobile device with a smaller screen. So they're mostly looking at this it looks like they're going to start with just their own stuff, but I wouldn't be surprised if they actually moved on and looked at doing this with other third parties stuff with permission, of course, because you can't edit it without that permission. But this could be good, if you ask me. This could be something that could make a big difference to the small screen experience.
Yeah, and I know personally, I find it annoying when you watch something widescreen on your phone. Your phone's 16:9, just like your TV's 16:9. But the video still has bars, and it's even smaller because of and I hate that. But I find it funny that they're doing this right now the same time that LG and I think Motorola have started pushing the agenda. They're going to a different aspect ratio on their phones and tablets. It's like 18 something instead of 16:9, so that those videos actually fit full screen and you get a better resolution. And but I find it funny that that the mobile side is shifting to resolve that issue, and then right at the same time that Netflix is saying, hey, we've got a better solution on their end. But I think
I think this is great if it's predominantly a post-production type, adjusting the brightness and saturation on things. If, on the other hand, they're adjusting the content and stuff, the old pan and scan stuff like that works, right? You end up getting a pretty good show. And if it's something along those lines, then I'm okay. But I just would be anytime that, even to websites, I always get annoyed when I find functionality taken out of a website for a mobile website. It's like, just don't take anything that's relevant away. That would be, it would ruin the experience. Don't think that, oh, now you got to make it short form also because it's on a phone. So you're probably going to consume 45 minutes at most. So let's not do a whole hour and a half movie. That kind of stuff would be absurd. Now, that's not necessarily what they're talking about, but just saying. If somebody starts to think that over there in Netflix, don't do it. It's dumb.
I think this is going to be this is going to find certain things that are, this awesome scene from a movie. Let's take a Netflix example. The hallway scene from the first Daredevil season, where there's this nice long cut of this amazing scene where really you don't see much on the screen. It's kind of, but there's a lot of stuff happening.
Right.
I wouldn't mind that. Maybe not so much of, I wouldn't want that to be recut in a way where it's like zooming between things that are happening on the screen, because it's kind of a steady shot but it also, if I remember correctly, had a little bit of like a zoom out or zoom in on what's going on. And maybe if that was either zooming out a little bit slower or zooming in a little bit faster in order for us to see some stuff better on the display, that'd be cool. And also, that whole series, that first season, was very dark. Many parts, and there would be plenty of times where I would love them to tweak that brightness up so we could actually see what's going on the small device.
Even on full, 50-inch TV, a lot of those scenes were really dark and hard to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there are certain shows that, like, the thing about Daredevil is that not only would the darkness be an issue on a smartphone, and the size of the action and the detail would also be a problem because, there's a lot going on the screen at once in a lot of cases. But the sound is so critical to Daredevil. And so, you're not going to do it any justice with, especially not the phone mic, the phone speakers, but even cheap headphones are still not going to do a sufficient job of reproducing the sound to give the experience. I mean, the sound is a critical part of that experience. And so to really experience it, I actually watched almost all of Daredevil on my PC directly with, sitting a few inches away from a 27-inch TV with high-end headphones plugged in and listening to it that way. So I got a really good experience, and, my monitor has a pretty good contrast ratio, so I was able to. I felt like I was getting a good experience there, but I don't think that it would look good or even be very enjoyable if you didn't have a quality screen and quality audio.
Yeah, and one thing I'd say, once you reach my age, you're not going to watch movies on a little small smartphone. That's for sure.
People do, and I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't think you'll see nobody my age doing that.
You'd be surprised. I see people at work that are older than you with their little phones in the, like, watching stuff like in the break room and whatnot. And it's I don't get it. But and I've talked about my pet peeve before, and this really keys into it. Personally, rather than this, I think they should be focusing their efforts on audio normalization, because as he was talking about, is the audio is so important. And as I've talked about many times, it's my major pet peeve is when the dialogue is so quiet and then the music is so booming and there's no, like, normalization, and so you have to crank it up just to hear what they're saying, and then all of a sudden you're like blowing out your ears because some sound effect or something comes in, and that's where they need to be focusing their attention.
Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next Netflix story we have for today, which is Netflix is making a big change to how they do their ratings. For the longest time, they've been doing a rating system which is based on 5 stars, where you would choose whether or not it was 1 to 5 stars based on your preference, and then it would show you other shows, and it was not, basically it was not an aggregate of all the different ratings of everybody else. It was actually modified based on your viewing habits and what you liked, of how much you would like a show. So you would see a show that has 4.5 stars, you'd probably like that. You might want to pick it up. Another show you might not like, probably lower 2 or 1 stars. They've decided they're going to make a change to this, and they've already started for some people, where you can now, instead of setting how many stars you liked on the show, you could either thumbs up or thumbs down the show. The idea here is to have it so you are more likely to just quickly select you liked it or you didn't like it for the movie. And they're from their very beginning testing of this, it looks like a lot of people have actually tried using this interface a lot more than they were getting from the star system. So
yep. You see, on Cord Killers this week, Tom said there's going to be one person out there that is absolutely furious that spent a whole lot of time curating the scores or the stars. I'm pissed. Because, like I said, I've been using this star system since beta. So go back almost 10 years. Almost. And because of that, Netflix knows me amazingly. Their algorithm works. It'll pop up and it'll say like 3 stars, and I'll go, maybe I'll add it to my queue. If it's 5 stars, if it thinks I'm going to think it's 5 stars, I watch it immediately because it's pretty much right. And if it's less than 3, I probably don't want to.
Right.
Yeah, up or down? No. Yeah. Because then you're going to say, well, I kind of liked it. I didn't hate it. I guess I'll give it an up. Now you're going to get more recommendations that are around the 3-star coming in as a 5-star now. Because now it's just 50-50.
Well,
here's the thing. Like, I get where you're coming from. And like my first impulse when I first heard about this is, no, this is stupid. Like, thumbs up, thumbs down is not going to provide the fidelity. But ultimately, the reason they're making this offering, and they will still offer the star rating, it sounds like, for you to decide whether or not you want to watch it. But what they've realized is that they know more about the shows that you like and stuff than what they're getting from people. So their metrics based on how much you've watched this type of show, how long you've watched this type of show, and various other content related things, and your viewing habits similar to other people, lets them give a much better idea of your actual perception. That's why now you're getting star ratings based on your likelihood to like, instead of just the overall community star rating.
Well, that's the problem, is because the overall community, they don't ever like anything that I like.
Right.
And so right now, right now the star system is based on what I've rated other stuff that's similar. So it's right. Saying, but
effectively, but my point is that when you watch a show and you thumbs up it, then you're saying that I like this, and they know because of the makeup of that show, because they have all kinds of like metrics that they've built around, like details that they've built around each and every single show on their system. They know all kinds of information about that show, like what's in it, who's in it, what it's about, how long it is, the kind of like super sub genre. Like if you've ever looked at their genre listing, it's like massively deep and super complex. Mm-hmm. So what they know so much about the kinds of things that you like, that they can do so much better than the community is going to do. Like I totally think this is like, the star rating doesn't even matter anymore. They probably haven't really been using it for a while. This just helps them kind of get an early lead on what you do and don't like.
The problem is I can't bring myself to do a thumb up or thumb down most of the time unless I absolutely love it or I absolutely hate it. Then how do I rate it? Because if it was okay, but
don't
not
do anything.
Bad,
then don't do anything.
Then,
you don't thumbs up, you don't thumbs down. But you've watched it, and they look at that as part of your metric.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's ultimately...
Right.
You being a viewer that they already have a plethora of data on, right? Your thumb up or thumb down isn't really going to make any difference anyways, because they already know so much about your viewing habits. Like you said, they already recommend them well to you.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just, I'm just angry. That's all.
Well, one thing I wonder about this rating system. So I haven't seen it yet. I'm assuming that they will show you the percentage of thumbs up versus the percentage of thumbs down in this rating. So if something, let's say, is only 20% thumbs up, are they going to recommend that to you, or what happens with that, right? Or maybe you've thumbs up similar shows, right? So 20% do give it a thumbs up. So we'll let this one through as a recommendation. How that algorithm actually is going to work is what's not clear to me yet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything, maybe I missed it, but I didn't see anything in here that stated that they would show you the thumbs up rating. They just use that to determine whether or not to show it to you. So if if they thought it was less than 50% thumbs up, and that's going to be not just 50% thumbs up total, but 50% thumbs up for people like you, then they're going to present it to you.
Yeah.
And if it gets less, then they're not going to present it to you. And so, I mean, this is, I guess I'm a little tainted because I work on a project at my company where we do data analytics and we kind of do predictive analysis on behaviors and stuff like that for that kind of thing. So this is kind of what I work on for a living. And so I totally believe that they're going to be able to provide better recommendations than I probably can generate by putting in just a bunch of star ratings and stuff like that. Just by giving them a few thumbs up, and really, again, not really even so much about the thumbs up, but just what I actually watch and what I sit through the whole way and how often I watch that kind of show.
Okay, so I'm a really weird case here because I don't rate anything, mostly because I'd rather not provide that information for I don't know what weird reason. It's like if I feel like if I go ahead and rate this as something I liked and something I didn't like, it would automatically filter things out that, you know, maybe I would have liked that kind of feeling to me. I have that kind of, you know, if I do this, are you going to start showing me things that you think I'm going to like, and I'm going to start getting a filter bubble that keeps giving me the same stuff even though I want to go outside my filter bubble? So I actually kind of avoid that because I don't want to do this. Now, this actually encourages me with a thumbs up, thumbs down. That's a lot easier because also the problem with picking a rating is like, was it a 3 or was it a 4? Because it wasn't a 5. So which one was it? What do you think? Do you think it was a 3 or a 4? Well, I would call that a 3.5. Can you do a 3.5? No, it only lets me do 3 or 4. You know, you gotta pick. And that kind of decision is hard for, at least for me, to quantify. How do you quantify this? I mean, did it make me laugh 3 times? Okay, I don't know. But a simple, hey, I like that show, thumbs up, is easy. And a simple, that really kind of sucked, thumbs down, that's easy. And then otherwise, I liked it, but it was okay.
Yeah.
It was a good show.
See, but the big thing for me is that I use those stars when they give me recommendations, because that determines my likelihood of how soon or how soon am I going to waste my time on it? Or, because if it's rated fairly low, I'm not, unless something about it really draws my attention, it's going to sit on my list. There's stuff that's been on my list that's kind of mediocre, that's been there for years, just because I haven't gotten around to it. But the stuff that
too much stuff to watch. The stuff
that's like 4 and 5 stars, I know, okay, I should probably try this out right now. And if it's just, hey, you're going to like this, well, how much am I going to like it? Yeah. Is it enough for me to waste my time, waste a half hour, and to find out that I didn't particularly like it?
Well,
that's just the way I look at it. So,
yeah, well, I get where you're coming from. I just feel like, if the way the system works, if they are doing the analysis correctly, if their data scientists or analysts are doing a good job, then what you should find is that most of the shows that you see recommended to you will be those 4+ star shows. And the majority, what you would see is 4+ star shows now. And the majority of the shows that you would be, probably not, or maybe someday, just won't even show up on your feed.
Yeah. See, Jotmon makes a point. He said, why not copy Google Plus and just do a +1? And that's essentially what you're doing, just +1, -1. And what has +1 done? Absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing. It's almost as innocuous as a thumbs up on Facebook, or a like, or
a heart on Twitter,
it's
right?
Like, oh yeah, I liked. That sub shop, I +1'd it. Does it mean I should? It doesn't mean they should recommend more sub shops similar to that. Probably not, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm the minority. As always, I'm the minority in this issue. It's just my itchy brain.
Yeah, that was going to be my point. At least the trade-off is you get 200% more people participating.
Sure.
And as far as plus ones and how does it work, I actually find it works particularly with comments when you're looking for that comment that actually addresses the issue, and people plus one comment or two comments that are like, well, these are actually really valid points, and so you can filter that way in that system.
Yeah.
I agree. It might not fit very well with if you were to do a plus one with movies. It might. I don't know. There'd have to be a good way, easy way to plus one. Maybe plus one is the wrong term. Sometimes it's just semantics and it makes all the difference. So you just need more people to use it.
My solution to get more people rating was to give us a way to turn off that stupid autoplay. Because that's been the thing that's made it really hard over the last year or so to rate my titles, is because you're racing down through the menu to get to the stars before the thing starts spooling up again and then starts counting as it's been, and then starts going into full screen. And so
I haven't rated anything. Yeah, I haven't rated anything on Netflix in a long time. I used to do it very consistently. I think that largely changed when I transitioned to viewing predominantly on devices rather than my computers, though. So, because for a long time I was always viewing on some sort of a computer. I had a media PC on my TVs and desktops and laptops. So when I transitioned to TVs and devices like the Roku or the Fire TV, then I stopped rating because it was just more work, right? Like you had to navigate a bunch of arrow overs as opposed to just
before the autoplay. It wasn't an issue because it was right there. Underneath play was rate. It was right there. So anytime I finished something, I just went down one, star it, hit enter, done, remove, and then one more click to remove it from my queue. But then once they started doing that autoplay and they resorted everything, they put it all the way down at the bottom and made it, actually, I think they did it intentionally to get people to stop using the stars, you know?
Yeah.
Because,
it's, one of the things that kind of got brought up was YouTube comments. Those work on a thumbs up, thumb down basis. Not comments, but YouTube like.
Yeah.
And for me on YouTube, all it is acknowledging that you are like, it's a vote of support to the
creator saying, hey, keep on doing what you're doing.
So I don't know. I get where you're coming from. I think that I'm a believer in data science. I just want to give all of my everything over to somebody that has good algorithms so I don't have to think again.
So what they need to do,
choosing things.
So what they need to do is they need to have a thumbs up, thumbs down interface for the people who just want to quickly, I liked it or I didn't like it, and then have a more option for Clyde where he can actually see.
If we could just get a Clyde option, I would be happy. And it's interesting you brought up the YouTube, because that is kind of the example of what I'm talking about. Is because if I go on my YouTube page, log into my YouTube account, all this stuff they're recommending to me is crap. It's primarily because someone I knew or whatever, I gave them a thumb up to help out their video. Now they think, oh, you thumbed it up, you must love this kind of video, so here's a million other like it. It's like, no, I don't even like this. But now, and I'm not going to thumb down a perfectly good video just because, and ruin their rating just because I didn't enjoy it. And
I think Jobman's got the perfect rating system. How many Clydes do we give this movie?
Is a 0 Clyde a good rating or a bad rating?
It depends on the genre.
Okay, gotcha. So for Zombievers, you get 5 Clydes, obviously.
Yes. If there's beavers and zombies, it's probably going to get 5 Clydes, and that's a good thing.
That's what I was just saying. It's like, giving it a bunch of Clydes is like saying it's a bad old movie.
Clyde up, Jimmy down? Why is Jimmy down? That wasn't nice. Okay.
We actually have one more story. Guys.
And what is it about?
It's another Netflix story.
Netflix again.
Netflix. They're doing their thing.
All right.
This time, what they're doing is they went off they're going to go ahead and take an Orson Welles film, movie that he was working on, and then he died, so he didn't finish it, and they're going to finish it.
That slacker.
It's the movie called the Other Side of the Wind, which immediately makes me think of Zelda right now. But
Insert fart joke here.
Yeah.
Because when he died, he went to the other side of the wind, right?
Oh no! But basically it's a movie. It was fully filmed, fully needed to be edited. So there was all the post production that still needed to be happened. But apparently the whole movie was filmed and ready to go. There was some type of Patreon or some other Indiegogo that was trying to
GoFundMe, I think.
a GoFundMe,
Yeah.
some type of program trying to get this movie to be get enough money for this movie to be finished, to be produced and released, and that failed. So Netflix stepped in and said, "Hey, we'll do it, and we'll just put it on on Netflix for everybody to watch." So they're kind of stepping in and taking an Orson Welles film, the last one, and making it their exclusive. This is a big move on their part. This is great.
You know, and as we discussed beforehand, I think it's a genius move on their end because they put themselves in the perfect position. If the movie ends up being utter crap, they get to say, "Not our problem. We didn't make the movie.
Yeah.
He did. Go yell at him." But if it ends up being amazing, they get to take all the credit and be like, "Yeah, we're the heroes. We brought you that thing that you never thought you were going to see."
Yeah, well, Netflix has done this before with TV shows.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I believe this might be the first time they're doing this with a movie, isn't it? I can't remember another movie
No,
they've
they've
done this
saved
with.
other movies that were like not even going to go straight to DVD.
Yeah.
Mm.
They've stepped in, but this is different because this is like they're like completely recovering something that was lost, that was never edited, never finished, that starring people that aren't even alive anymore, and there's no chance of reshoots. There's no way to go back and do any editing or really other than cutting stuff out. But
The real question is the reason that the other attempts failed was because after they spent enough time watching all of the content, they realized it wasn't going to be good no matter how they produced it.
I have no idea.
So hopefully, I'm hopeful this will turn out to be a good movie. I mean, I wouldn't say Orson Welles hit it out of the park every time, but he did have a number of good movies.
There's a demographic what this movie is just primed for.
Yeah.
And we're probably all too young to be in the demographic. So
no,
Unfortunately, I am not.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't say we're too young. You have to be in the right mindset because I don't like most like of the geek sci-fi, the stuff that the geek culture kind of is drawn to, but I like the campy, like old sci-fi, like the Orson Welles stuff, and yes, I'm actually kind of excited about this because I'd heard of this movie. It's one of those things that, people have been talking about for decades. But I thought that he died, they were still like halfway through shooting and they just shut down production. So if they actually finished it, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, we'll see. And I also wonder if this actually turns out to be good, if this will be one that contends for potential release in like theatrical release, like they did with the they had one not too long ago that they released theatrically as well. So that would be interesting.
Well, I wonder how long it'll be before some other service, I'm calling a new Amazon to do this, to go ahead and find another show that was never created back a long time ago and try to revive it in order to get more attention to their network. We'll see.
Yeah. So
I think that the one thing that I like about this is that it's showing an interest in older movie content and stuff. I would like to see them looking at older books that kind of got neglected or that got poorly done. It would be great to have a really good Dune movie or something like that.
How many times have they tried?
Yes, but Netflix has never tried, and Netflix has a track record of doing some good stuff. And maybe HBO should do Dune. HBO has a track record of
Didn't they
doing great service to
I think
books.
that was Showtime. Who made the Dune in 2000? Oh no, Sci-Fi Channel. It was Sci-Fi, Channel.
Yeah,
And it wasn't bad. I actually own it someplace. I got it at like one of those used record places. I got the DVD set. It's like the miniseries or the movie from like 2000, and I think I paid like $5 for it, and I watched it at work. So I technically got paid to watch it. So even if it was horrible, it was worth it. But
yeah,
no, no matter what, Sting will always be the main character for me.
So if they do a remake of it, then Sting would have to make a cameo, huh?
Well, he just made a cameo in the last what was the model movie, Ben Stiller, Zoolander. Yeah. He had a very, very important cameo in the last Zoolander movie.
Well, the first Zoolander movie had David Bowie as the big guy in there. So I hadn't seen the second one. I wanted to see it, and I never got around to it. Maybe that's what I'm going to find out and watch.
I watched it recently against everybody's guidance. I watched it, and I absolutely loved it. I hear it's laughing so hard. So
I liked the first one pretty good.
Mm-hmm. First one was excellent.
Yeah, if you like the first one, the second one it's there in spirit. It's perfect. It's just stupid enough. And I think does that wrap this up?
Yeah, that's about all the news I have for today.
Well, and that's about all the time we got for today. Yeah.
Yeah, we got we talk about our rants and raves.
Yeah. So, and anybody got in closing? Anybody got anything they want to rant and rave about? I've already pretty much got my rants out. So.
I have something. Was at the bookstore, picking up some books for my son because we have try every once in a while. I'll try to get there, try to get him reading some good books. I walked around a little bit, came to the sci-fi section, and came across this book.
Oh, how about that?
It's Pilot X by Tom
X.
Never heard of it.
No, okay.
Which bookstore?
That was at Barnes & Noble. There were 2 copies on the shelf.
Nice.
I'm only about 20, 30 pages into it, so it's too early for me to tell. I'm liking where it's headed, but I don't have any real. It had one thing is that most of the books that I end up reading, I don't read a lot of them, but I do flip through books from time to time, and the ones I usually pick up are ones that like grab me and go for it. This one is kind of grabbed me. Well, I think it's just slow to start. So we'll see what happens. But I wanted to just say that our good friend from Diamond Club TV, Tom Merritt, has a book out. It's on bookshelves, and it looks good. And so far, the story's been pretty good. And I recommend if you're interested in sci-fi and time travel that I am into, I want to check this out.
And if you are shopping around the LA area, keep your eyes out for a physical copy because you may find his signature autograph hidden. He's been signing them as he runs across them in stores.
It's pretty awesome.
Cool. I picked up a Kindle copy. I was really tempted to order a physical copy from Amazon. They had like 5 or 6 left in stock, but I just don't ever carry a book around, yet I have my phone with me 100% of the time. So it would have just delayed my actually getting around to reading it, which I still haven't because I'm in the middle of like 3 other books that I'm trying to get finished. But go ahead.
That's why I used to buy, when I would buy books, I would buy a hardcover and a softcover. The softcover was for getting beat up and read. The hardcover was going on the shelf so that everybody goes, "Ooh, you read that."
Yeah, well, I'm the same way. I finally sold all my paperbacks to like Half Price Books here because I had a huge collection of paperbacks, and my wife got annoyed that I had like 4 bookshelves worth of books twice. just like, you have all the hardbacks. Why do you need all these paperbacks? Well, like, because that's what I read. But yeah. Now I just buy them digitally and in hardback, so I can save the space for the paperbacks.
I wanted to buy the hardback of this one because I don't know. It just was like, ooh, it's a person I know somewhere on the internet.
The hardback?
Oh, it's not a hardback. They don't have a hardback.
I was going to say,
but a physical copy.
I didn't think they had a hardback.
No, it's a paperback. But I wanted to have the physical copy because it was like, oh, it's somebody I know on the internet, and he's trying to become a famous author that maybe becomes a big career for him.
Conquered,
I know,
like television. Then he conquered the internet. Is it any surprise that he's going to conquer like print media?
Well, he's already done a couple other books, but I'm hoping this is a big success for him. Quite frankly,
he's got a best-selling DVD out there walking you through step by step how to build a website. Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
Oh, you have to. It's Tech TV, ZD TV, like 2000 era. And it's awesome.
Does it say open notepad and type open bracket HTML, close bracket?
Like actual hand coding in HTML and all that. And Sergeant Muffin plays it in its entirety on Diamond Club TV every once in a while. It's pretty funny. So yeah, if you can find it, definitely look that up. Jimmy, you got anything?
No, nothing really too much to rant about. I'm looking forward to the new Bosch series, which is supposed to start here soon. So looking forward to that.
Restarting my Amazon Prime subscription here in the next few days.
Yep, looking forward to that. Also, just started watching The Expanse on Amazon as well. So got through the first episode of that. It looks very interesting as well.
All I can say is it's currently airing right now. So you might, if you like it, get through the first season as soon as you can before the episodes start falling off of Hulu. Otherwise, season 2, you'll finish season 1 and only like the last 4 episodes of season 2 will be available. I was lucky that back in December, I started watching The Expanse, or it was like January, whenever it showed up on Amazon, and I burned through it just in time for the season 2 to start. And season 2, only like 1 or 2 episodes is actually available at a time on FX Now, and FX Now is miserable. So if you can watch it on Hulu without commercials,
yep,
awesome. Yeah. Or what was there something else that I interrupted?
No. That was it. Just those 2 shows. Those are the things that I'd rave about right at the moment.
Yeah. Last thing. This Saturday is the next movie party, 9 p.m. Central. Diamond Club TV. I kind of dropped the ball in getting the vote poll up there. So I think I'm going to pull an audible, and I'm going with we'll probably just go with one of the suggestions. I think it was Bad Weeb suggested. What was that movie they made about weed being horrible and it's like going to drive you crazy?
Reefer Madness.
Yeah, Reefer Madness, and that is available. I think we're going to watch Reefer Madness. It should be pretty good. Yeah, good job, Jotman. So it was either Fitz or Jotman. I mean, not Fitz. Bad Weeb or Jotman suggested it, and I think that's going to be a good fit. So we'll just plan on that. Like I said, 9 p.m. Central on Saturday, the 25th. DiamondClub.tv. Movie party.
Awesome.
It's going to be fun.
Cool. I got a couple. Since you started the book thing, Matt. I'll mention Andrew Main's Station Breaker book. If you haven't read it, it is excellent. I really enjoyed the heck out of it. He came out with book 2 of that series, continuing some of the main characters. I haven't read it yet, but I'm super excited to get to that. So Station Breaker was really good. Probably check out the new one. I've already bought it again, but finishing the current books that I'm reading. Also, I went to Alamo Drafthouse on Monday with my kids, which they don't normally allow young kids in Alamo Drafthouse, but they do for kids' movies at certain show viewing times. And so I was able to take them. It is an awesome place, and it's basically the place I go for movies all the time. And good food, good movie, good experience. And I saw Beauty and the Beast with my kids. And if you have young kids, especially young girls, it is absolutely excellent. I strongly recommend it, and your kids will absolutely love the heck out of it. And who would have thought that Hermione Granger can sing like that? She does a really great job. So.
The actress has, was it Emily Watson? She.
Yeah.
I was like, who is Hermione Granger? I've never heard of this person.
Have you never watched Harry Potter?
I've
or
watched
read the book?
The first 15 minutes of the first movie about 6 times.
There you go.
I've never made it past there because I'm snoozing, and so.
Yeah, that she plays Hermione Granger from Harry Potter series. So since you don't know, more we're gonna go see it this weekend. Likely, we'll see. We haven't had the chance to. So this weekend looks like when we'll be able to go.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it. My youngest daughter, she's almost 5, and she sat on literally on the edge of the seat the entire movie, just like eating her popcorn and staring intently at the screen and barely looked away the whole time.
Okay, I have one question that's not a spoiler question. The simple question is, if I've obviously seen the cartoon.
And apparently that was banned. It's a banned.
Well,
he has
Censor.
seen the cartoon.
Matt gets a thumbs down for that one.
Clyde is censoring Matt's questions and comments.
Here he comes.
No, I called him. I don't know if he's going to be there. But for those that haven't seen the Tom Merritt website thing, I'm posting the YouTube link. You save it. It's worth watching. Watching like a 20-something-year-old Tom Merritt. Because we all know current Tom Merritt. This was like barely, like maybe just out of college Tom Merritt. It didn't like the fact that you mentioned a cartoon.
It was censored. Clyde was not okay with that.
I'm sorry I had to boot you.
What was your question? You have a question that's not spoilery about the movie.
Right.
If you've seen the cartoon, that was your last words.
Okay. If you've seen the cartoon, don't you dare do it. Don't you dare. Is there enough or anything new in this film that keep you interested, or is it basically the movie rehashed in the life?
There are new songs and there are a few new bits, but it is largely the animated movie, and it follows it pretty darn closely.
But you liked it, so you'd been really...
I absolutely loved it. I thought it was outstanding.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Thank you.
5 stars. Very good.
Skype.
So get your expectations up so that they can be dashed on the rocks when you get there. No, I'm kidding. It's really...
Okay, then. Well, on that note, I think we should probably end this thing. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Jotmon and Fitz and everyone else in the chat room, thanks again for hanging out. It's always a good time. We will check you again next week, every Wednesday on DiamondClub.tv at 9 p.m. Central. You can also check us out on YouTube. Just search for the VOD Squad because we don't have the vanity URL yet. If you haven't subscribed, click that subscribe button. We'll be ever grateful.
We'll love you forever and ever.
We love you long time.
Yeah, for a long time.
Long time. All
Long
right.
time.
Bye.
Later.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.